Hi, I'm James Eade of the Eade Foundation, and this is a special broadcast coming directly from the U.S. Open. And I have a guest here, a grandmaster. Would you introduce yourself for the viewing audience?
Oh yeah, Jim, it's a pleasure. My name is Timur. I'm a chess grandmaster. I've been in the U.S. for many years now, and we're at U.S. Open, so it's a pretty exciting competition. Just finished round one, and just got a little bit of time to chat.
This isn't your first U.S. Open, though.
Yeah, just a couple of years ago, I won the major U.S.
You won the U.S. Open?
Yes. Thank you.
But you know what I remember most about you is, didn't you set a record for blindfold?
Yeah,
games.
Blindfold chess. Yeah.
What was it, like a number of games simultaneously?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So I played a simultaneous exhibition match on 48 boards.
48. Okay, so picture keeping your eyes closed and playing a game of chess by calling out the moves, and you just hear the moves in return, and you do that for one game. Do you think you could do that for one game? Timur did it for 48 games consecutive, simultaneously. Now, my brain hurts just thinking about it. And how did you feel afterwards? Did you feel drained, like exhausted, or did you feel like you were ready to keep going?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a hardcore task, as you would imagine.
Yeah.
Just a few days ago, I actually went up Europe's largest mountain, it's Elbrus. It's 5,600 meters with no sleep the night prior. So I was like, actually, I might have set the record for like the longest time anybody took to go up the mountain.
It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Yeah, well, as you go up the altitude, it takes a long time. So I sort of felt like, oh, maybe that was the toughest task I've ever accomplished. Maybe aside from the world record event, which took like 19 hours.
19 hours. You're still thinking about positions in your head.
Yeah.
You've got it, and not making mistakes, like not.
Oh yeah, definitely made some mistakes. Definitely made some blunders. Also did my opponents. So
but you I mean, like mistakes like getting positions mixed up in your head.
Oh, that too. Too. Actually, the games, most of the games are online. You could see them. They're out there in the records, and yeah, the toughest one ended up being against the least experienced opponent, and she basically her moves made me second guess what the position was right off the bat.
They weren't something that you were used to.
Well, they were just
strange configuration.
They were just completely wrong moves, because she would play her knight that was move 3, I think, in the game, where my pawn can take the knight. And in response, having figured out the situation incorrectly, I assumed the situation was different. So just a move or two later, I put my knight where her pawn can take my knight, and she doesn't take it.
Oh, then that's gotta
so that totally messes with me. And you add another. If that was just the one game, maybe you could like get yourself to get back to somehow some sort of reality. Right. But then after you come back to it, after you played another 47 moves and 47 other games, you were like, oh man, that's that confusing game. Oh my god.
And you're just like, where's the pieces? Yeah, where are the pawns? And so, yeah, I can imagine. But this is an exercise in stamina as well, and concentration, the ability to focus and picture and visualize and all of that. And so climbing the tallest peak in Europe, that's also stamina.
Oh yeah,
and willpower. I would imagine you have to keep going.
Oh yeah,
telling yourself to keep
going.
And
big time. Yeah. Yes, it's actually it's I don't know if it's like my favorite sort of exercise sort of concept. It's actually a very tough thing, because you're exposing yourself to high altitudes. You don't know
the elements
exactly how your body is going to respond.
Right.
So you're just hoping you're going to be able to get in like that physical shape that you normally used to, like just moving around. So I'm confident in my physical shape.
Did you get any advice, like if someone told you to stay hydrated, make sure you're?
Oh yeah, the basic advice, and the sun was burning, so you have to have I had 4 layers of that sunscreen I was putting in throughout the day.
Yeah.
But it's the altitude can mess with you,
and you're not quite to the ozone layer, but you're way up there, right?
Well,
it's a different altitude. It's a different everything. Your experience is very different than being in land level.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But by Asian standards, like 5,600 meters is no big deal. Actually, a few months prior, I climbed Kilimanjaro.
Oh wow!
Which is about that height, also 5,600 meters. I went up.
Yeah.
Actually,
famous quest in Africa.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The day prior.
Good for you.
The day prior, I had a just major headache. I was doing terrible.
Yeah.
And then just felt like, oh man, I'm alive. I can walk. It's like, okay, let's try and give this the very last push.
Yeah.
And then you start at night. You go in the middle of the night.
Because of the sun, you don't want to do it.
A number of reasons, the weather gets bad in the afternoon. We had a streak of like really few very nice days, so I figured, as long as I was able to stay with the task and progress, my feet wouldn't get cold or wet or whatever.
So like chess, it requires planning and preparation, and all of the characteristics that go into being a grandmaster, I think, served you well. Yeah. Even though it's a physical activity that we're talking about.
All throughout different stages. So you kind of know you got to, like develop your pieces, make sure you have all your ducks lined up. You want to have all your equipment. You want to have the advice of a mentor, somebody who's well versed in this sort of experience.
Who's done it before.
Yeah, has done it before.
Yeah.
Yes, I was trying to follow the groups. Who had the good tempo, good dedication.
Yeah.
So, just a number of things. And also once I get up the mountain, it's like sort of like converting a winning position. Now you still gotta come back all the way down. Yeah. That's the most important part. You don't claim that you ascended the mountain until you all the way back down from it.
That's true.
Nice and safe.
That's halfway. That's
So just the same way the world record event, I played, I think it was like 12 or 13 hours I played already. And I was like, all right, guys, how many positions do I have left? So I'm hopping from one game to the next. So there were like some gaps in between. So at times I'll be like, oh, like what's the next game? It's like game 7, then it's like game like 11, on to next and next and next. And they were like, how many games are there left? And believe it or not, there were more than half of the games still running after 13 hours. And there were like a lot of them in like critical positions. Some were like totally unclear. I was like, geez, this is crazy.
The players you're playing against are exhausted and you're still going.
Well, they're too. So that's sort of the concept I get often I'd be asked, well, when are you going to go for the next record? And that would be the cool concept to develop for the next match, to make it like a big expo, big convention where, my world record event is happening. Then we have, like a lot of side events happening. So just the same way I'm simultaneously doing things, like the players, they play their move. It takes about like 45 minutes to an hour for me to get back to that board at times.
Right.
So, meanwhile, they can go hear like presentations. They can partake in the activities that are not related to the very game.
Right.
They can go have, after they accomplish, certain stages of the game.
So they get a massage built in. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And we could have
just dramatically different experience. Right?
Yeah. Just make it like a festival.
Right.
I think that would be pretty fun, just having that one major feat happening, but then have a lot of side activities which really engage people.
And you can get a little notice your move. It's your turn. And you can get back into the room.
Exactly that. Yeah, you have a buzzer, and then the player comes back to it, plays the move, then you can go relax, enjoy the game, just not follow the game with any particular advice or suggestion, but just be social and partake.
Well, that's why one of the reasons that the U.S. Open, the U.S. Chess Federation also has its delegates meeting, which is what I'm here is representing Northern California, and they put out together all these rules and regulations that make sure that these competitions are held and they're fair and fair to everyone. So this is part of doing the exhibition is one thing, but making sure it's done correctly. There's no cheating. There's nobody taking advantage of Timur's good nature and that sort of thing. That these are the types of things that go into the planning and the organizing and conducting of an event like we're talking about. It's not just something you wake up and say, I'm going to do this tomorrow. So a lot of thought goes into it and a lot of preparation on your part. And did you build up to 48? Did you start off?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I would think
it took a little while, and among like major events I did was a few like large simultaneous exhibition matches in California. One of the largest ones I've ever done was in Hawaii over the course of a chess camp. So to make it it's more
tough job, but somebody's got to do it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Go to Hawaii.
To make it easier on the kids, I made it sort of like I brought those in stages. So I would have like first 12 boards set up, and then I'll play like a bunch of moves there, get to like interesting positions where they can think about, take breaks, come back and play, and then I would roll out another 7 or 8 boards, and then by the within about 3 or 4 hours, everybody was partaking, everybody was sitting in and making moves, and that way we could reduce the time down from 27 boards would take 9 plus 9 10 like 10 hours 10 hours long time. So we kind of like reduced the waiting time, and it still took like probably about that, like 8 or 9 hours at least.
But most people that are able to have the talent to produce an exhibition like that, they think about taking care of themselves and how the organizer is going to make it good for them. And Timur is talking about how to make it better for the kids. So I just want to point that out, that this is an attitude change, an attitude adjustment, that this is an event that he's not in it for himself. He's in it for others to enjoy as well. And setting a record doesn't hurt, and setting a record's a personal goal. I'm sure you want to accomplish that, but it's not just about that. It's not just about getting your name in a record book.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's sort of like a larger concept. It's ultimately about a contribution to the chess world, and like the world like of creative, like memory feats.
Yes,
it's just so many like. The longevity of effort, like sort of like marathon-like effort, sports, the mind sports, just so many things intertwined, like sort of magic,
right?
Because how the hell do you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
a fascination.
Yeah, exactly.
And people, even if they don't play chess, they can be fascinated by that.
Oh yeah,
how can you do that?
Yeah,
it's an amazing accomplishment. But what it does is put chess in a different light than people normally put it into this little square hole. And you're saying, hey, wait, it's a big round hole, and that square is just one part of it.
Oh yeah.
So that's one of the main contributions. And I can remember a picture of you jumping out of an airplane with a chessboard. So you're tossing the chess salad in a new way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's the concept. Just innovation, trying something new, improving quality. Actually, just recently I organized a tournament. I think gradually I think I'll go for about another year competing in tournaments. It's fun, it's interesting, but ultimately it's quite time consuming. And if you're gonna wanna, I still have years and years ahead of me to progress and get sharp at certain activity, promote, create greater opportunities for the world. So, like if I do more chess, I want to be, like doing the best I can, right? So with the quality of competition, especially so, chess drawn a lot of technology, a lot of interest, and, the players who are competing, the players in the field, they have new approach, new ideas, and in order to keep up, at the very least, you have to put in a lot of time.
Absolutely, yeah. This is and the amount of preparation now is completely different from when I started out playing, because you could look at a much smaller amount of material and be current, and now you have to be aware of everything going around all over the world.
There's ways to play smart. There's the psychology. I've learned a lot over the past few years. At first I started just sort of off like competing So it's a bit of an ego thing. I thought, okay, if I'm that good, I'm just gonna play tournaments and eventually get to the next goal, the next stage. Then I realized this, like, oh man, this is not easy.
Right.
This is like chess is pretty tough, you know. So you have to really invest the time, which was my original approach. I think so I became a grandmaster at 15 years old. It's not so impressive anymore.
Well,
I think about a month ago, there's a kid
12
from the US. Yeah, 12 years old.
He's going to be here at this tournament.
Magnus world record for the youngest. Sergei Karakin's record for the youngest ever. So that's pretty cool.
Oh.
Now, I think in terms of how many tournaments it took me to get to GM, I think it might have been like a dozen tournaments that I played to get my international master and my grandmaster titles.
That's stunning. Yeah. So
that happened within about 2.5 years.
Anyone who gets the title has accomplished something, and if you get it young, it's even more impressive. And if you do it in that kind of time frame, then you think, okay, this guy's different.
But what preceded the participation was a lot of study.
Yes.
So studying was a little bit
preparation,
different back then,
right?
But I worked chess base. I learned was like 11 or 12, and then just spent hours and hours with it. Now there's one thing that I would really love to do is just build a team, and I definitely have access to excellent players, like players of younger generation, players of like who have the experience and that psychological edge. Like say last tournament that I just played World Cup recently, and it was a cool competition. It's the first time I ever competed in a World Cup, so I was like, oh man, I want to do well. That's actually I was quite fortunate. I played the National Open and World Open, which are like super tough.
Yeah,
I had a chance.
Those are grinds.
I think I had a really good chance to win either one of those, but for a reason didn't really come through like doing my very best. All right, so I had my lessons from it, and I sort of like moved the chess pieces, got in the flow. I was like, oh man, this is fun. Like I'm playing all the strong players.
Yeah,
it's like millisecond right away from nailing it.
Yeah.
So I was like at the World Cup with this competitive structure, I was like pretty excited to partake, and I connected with a friend of mine. He's a young grandmaster, and it's just so hardworking. He's just so good.
Yeah,
he had a spot in the World Cup, but for the reasons he wasn't able to take part. So he was excited to try and help me prepare and participate that way.
That's teamwork. And what you mentioned, team competitions, those are some of the events that I remember best.
Oh yeah, team tournaments are really amazing.
Yeah.
World Chess Olympiad would be one of them.
Yes.
But in terms of prep though, having those knowing your opponent, you start like preparing your openings, the strategies. And the interesting point, and with my experience, if I had the time, it's like you have a game a day, and then you're really try and do your best. So at times you like forget to like sort of slow down, like sort of like work smart.
You have to take your care of yourself too while you're putting all this energy into it. You have to also have some downtime.
Big time. I'm normally pretty good with that. I'm normally pretty good with that, doing sports, keeping in shape.
Yeah. So you can bounce back quicker than me.
But the chess part is actually somewhat of a novelty coming back to it. Like investing the time into chess prep.
Right.
So the interesting point working with my partner is he was excited about like having the ideas for the tournament. So he'd come up with like the most hardcore ideas, most hardcore variations, and be like, all right, this is it. I looked at your opponent, like this is what's gonna happen. And I look at those and there's like loads of ideas, information. I start trying to like learn, and I was excited to be learning. And then the opponent would be like, I'm playing like pretty strong, like high class players, and they'll be like, just play the one thing that we didn't look at.
Of course, it's always inevitable.
So in a way, if you're like slow down, or like, all right, well, your opponent has like time to prepare, and they're gonna look at it.
You're walking into his line, and he's not walking into yours.
A lot of the players, they actually I think they give me more credit for what I deserve in my work on chess. So like, okay, this guy probably remembers everything. He's got all these crazy variations in his head. If I worked on it, I probably would.
But you didn't. You don't.
Yeah, I don't normally, right? So I'm like just looking at the very thing, and I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna play something else.
I noticed a friend of yours is trying to come on, the Chessmaster Pro, but
let's say hi. I don't know if it's got.
We don't see his video, so I'm not going to bring him on stage
for the moment.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it for just a moment.
All right, let's see if I can bring him.
Let's try it for just a moment. If he's able, if he's ready, he might just be following and listening. Sergey.
Ask him again.
Sergey, слышно?
Oh, да.
Добрый день.
We're going to be here to get on the screen at the same time. Yeah. So I want to mention that we have a little time constraint because Timur is playing in the U.S. Open. That means he's got a round that's coming up very soon.
Yeah, in about 15 minutes.
Right.
So Sergey, we'd like to. I just do a little intro. If you say hi, we just test the audio. Maybe you say a couple words.
And if you can start your camera, that would be great. But if you can't, we'll just listen to you tell us about yourself. Maybe there's audio problems as well.
Sergey, can you hear us?
He's trying to start his camera.
Yeah, I think it's getting going.
Oh, we lost him. Okay, so welcome to live streaming.
Yeah, we'll try and get together next time. Same time it happened when I was trying to connect together with you and Brian Wall, which is a fascinating piece, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you for welcoming Brian.
Well, I'm glad
one
that
of the coolest creative players out there.
We were trying to get the two of you on, and you couldn't get on, so he had to carry the water for both of you.
I was traveling internationally, whatnot.
So that's
as soon as I heard myself like, I was like, all right, I don't want to spoil your thing.
So I don't want to make you late for your round, but I know that there's another topic that's very near and dear to your heart, and that's some of the work that you're doing in the continent of Africa. And you're doing some chess programs there. Let's try.
Yeah, let's try again.
Let's try get him back in and see if we can do this. Oops. Yep. You do it for me.
Yeah. That button.
There he is.
Добрый день.
You take it. You take it.
Добрый вечер.
Yeah. Hi.
Приветствую. Good day.
Do you hear me? Привет.
Yes.
Good day. Hello. How many people listen us?
So Jim, if you could back into camera a little bit.
You want me to get
the camera?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So it's not very good.
So Sergey, I put you on the spot a little bit, and this is the program that Jim runs, and it does interesting interviews with chess players around the world, chess players, organizers, anybody who would like to contribute. So we'll only have like another 5 minutes of the time, like as part of this interview, and we'll share this piece with the audience and to sort of build on it. I'll introduce Sergey. He's a leader of Chessmaster Pro, which is our project we're working on. I'm trying to contribute and help develop this. In a way, this is a program that helps players work on the thematic positions, which there's a number of them, which are most relevant to your success in the game. This is part of like opening, middle game, end game strategies. So like in a way that like Neo sits down in the Matrix and it's like, okay, I need to like learn how to fly a helicopter. So this skill is, I want to learn how to play chess. You connect this into your ear, and then
did you take the blue pill or the red pill?
10 seconds later, you have all that information in your mind. Well, 10 years later, after learning the 40,000 positions via Chessmaster Pro, you're able to solve those puzzles daily and then progress and get better.
Well, conceptually, this makes a lot of sense. People have different learning styles, but this is a learning style that I think cuts a broad swath throughout. Most people can learn this way. So I think it's intellectually, the concept of it is intellectually appealing to me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Sergey, please.
Yeah, he's having some audio problems. It's okay. We can see you, and what
you
we'll
can
do,
learn this faster than
we'll record the episode, and I'll send you a link to it so that you can see
Yeah.
it. But Timur is singing your praises.
So this model that is Chess Master Pro. Okay. So you don't hear me very well.
It's not great, but keep talking, and we'll listen as long as we can.
Yeah.
We only have a couple more minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's.
How did you get
I don't
started
know
in
whether you hear
developing this? How did you get started?
me
What
well.
turned you on to this idea? Okay, it's just not working. So we're going to on the fly. Welcome to streaming live, and we'll handle it the best we can to promote your product.
That.
So I guess Sergey, we can probably do like another episode, and
I don't.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, have us all connect once again. So this was a pretty good trial. I'm glad I'm finally here together with you, Jim, and
I'm so pleased
working on this.
We bumped into each other, so this is not set up in advance.
I suppose I'll give a little story on Sergey's effort with this, and so most importantly, Sergey is an international master in the game of chess himself. Is a very, very strong, experienced chess player, and his son is a great strong player, champion. He got I believe silver medal at the World Rapid Blitz Chess Championship among the among the kids, the championship in Minsk. So he worked on this program. He solved, I think, over you could see the graph of the players working on in the program, and
so you have
solved over 10,000 positions.
You have a proof of concept.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Sergey, over the course of pandemic, was trying to come up with how do we still get our kids to exercise and work on the game of chess? So he created this platform where some of the best kids in the group were able to access it and work with the top coaches in St. Petersburg, Russia, which is famous for the best school in the game of chess, including Boris Spassky, some of the Viktor Korchnoi, some of the greatest champions ever.
Right,
legendary champions. And so he built this platform where the coaches can interact with the kids and assign them tasks and set up puzzles which they can solve, and you can follow their progress.
All right. So I really appreciate it. We're going to end the broadcast now. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll distribute it. I'll download it, do the post-production work that I'm so accustomed to now after all these episodes. And I must say that I'm very happy that we bumped into each other.
Yeah, this is a great effort.
And have a very successful second round.
Yeah,
And
appreciate it.
It's coming right up. I don't want to keep you longer than I have to. And so I'm going to say goodbye. And because I'm at the US Open, you won't see your regular Friday afternoon show for me. But usually it's Fridays, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And you will see me then.
Look forward to check it out.
Okay.
Appreciate
Thank you very much. I really